Hey everybody, Julio DeSanctis here. Welcome to Hodgkins 2 Electric Boogaloo. I'm sorry I'm coming at you with the same shirt a day later. I have not had a chance to shower in this hospital yet. They have me hooked up to a thing, and as a result, I can't take the shirt off, and I got to be on this IV for long periods of time. They're going to give me a break in like within the next 2 hours to get a shower, clean myself up a little bit before I get dose 2 of chemo. So I'll be halfway done with this hospital stay by about 8, 9 o'clock tonight. Hopefully I'll sleep well, which actually brings us to the subject of today's video, which is I think we should change that age-old phrase of just say no to drugs to just say maybe to drugs. Just say occasionally to drugs. Just say sure if it means that you don't wake me up every 2 hours to drugs. So anybody that knows me, I've never really been a drug guy. I stopped smoking marijuana when probably I was about 19 after a absolutely harrowing encounter with some marijuana that had been laced with like PCP. It's a whole nother story, but I wound up in the emergency room with a heart rate at like 180 beats per minute on the verge of cardiac arrest. And hey, surprise, Mom, you haven't heard that story. Anyway, so as a result, I've not been a dabbler in drugs, although now I have a second story that occurs to me, which will make everybody at home think, well, maybe you have been a dabbler in drugs here, Jules. Maybe you did a little bit more drugs than you like to admit. I once had the incredible pleasure, phenomenal pleasure of smoking opium. Woo! Boy, oh boy, I can see why the opium dens in the Old West were so popular. What a feeling. Thanks to an old Exeter colleague who brought it back from, I guess, the UK or something. He had traveled abroad at Christmas and came back with some opium, which he brought into the country apparently unaware of the movie Midnight Run. Oh, that's right. I think he brought it back from Turkey, actually, because we had a long discussion about the movie Midnight Express. And he was not aware of how dangerous it could be to try and get opium out of the country. But it was a good high that lasted like 16, 18 hours. So beyond those events, mostly my entire life, alcohol has been my drug of choice. And alcohol, they don't prescribe it at hospitals, as it turns out. I've tried to get them to substitute some of these various pills for some good scotch or bourbon, and they say that's not how medicine works, sir. So now, having been in here for 2 days, I tell you, I did a video last week, 2 weeks ago. It was a bit of a rambling video, as most are, about the healthcare system, universal healthcare, and all the shit that I am on as a result of this chemo. I was premature in that video. I am on even more now. Like the stuff, it's every 2 hours they're giving me pills. I can't even keep track. I got a new one just the other day, and it's for like blood clotting or whatever. Now, I don't have blood clots, but this is to prevent blood clots. So I guess it's working because I still don't have blood clots. Either way. But the thing about the same maybe to drugs is what I am on now called Ativan, which I had previously been prescribed, but I didn't take it because it's a benzo, apparently. And I've had problems in the past with chemo and surgeries, biopsies and stuff where they gave me, hard drugs. And it made me like just an absolute zombie, right? I had to take an Oxycontin after oxycodone, whatever they call it, after a biopsy, and I was asleep for like 24 hours. Totally felt like a zombie for days afterwards. Times that I've been prescribed codeine or Vicodin for these various procedures. with chemo, usually it's usually a biopsy. They got to knock you out. I just always lay off of them because I would sooner have just some, prescription strength Tylenol or whatever it is they give you, ibuprofen, over these, because it takes down the pain and you're not like a walking zombie. But I'll tell you, Ativan, woo, apparently it's for anxiety. I don't really have anxiety, and despite what my wife tells me. That's a whole nother thing about how she thinks I should be talking to a therapist during this thing, or in some kind of group where I'm talking to a whole group of people that are not clinically trained. I feel like I have you folks. I'm talking to you folks. My rambling 5 to 10 minute rants is all the, getting rid of it that I need in order to process all this. But Ativan, man, does that help you sleep? 2 nights in a row now, thanks to Ativan, I have not been woken up every 2 hours by the hospital staff. I have slept through their visits to me where they, check my blood pressure and take my pulse. And, normally those things would wake me up. I even took pills this morning at like 6 a.m., my first round of pills, and I fell right back asleep. And I could never in my life have I been able to actually get up, take pills, drink water, and like somehow or another go back to sleep. No. When I get up, I get up. When you ask me questions while I'm sleeping, when you ask me how I'm feeling, if I having any nausea or whatever, that wakes me up. But not with Ativan. Not with Ativan. So say maybe to drugs when it comes to needing sleep while on chemo, while in the hospitals that are not places that are well built for people to sleep, because all the beeping and the shuffling and the questions and the checking on you and all that. So anyway, that's the point of today's video. Nancy Reagan, obviously, she was wrong about a lot of things. Say no to drugs might have been tops on that list. I think mostly she was talking about crack cocaine because, really she was trying to villainize black people at the time. But I don't know, were benzos around back then? Was prescription strength sleeping pills around back then? Probably. It feels good. It feels good to be well rested. This is actually the best I've felt after 1 dose of chemo since 10 years ago when I had chemo, and it didn't seem to affect me at all. So, all right, that's it for me today. They're going to hook me up in a couple hours. I'm going to take a shower here shortly. I'll be much cleaner. I'll be in a new shirt tomorrow for a video. So, fuck cancer. Keep fighting the good fight. Go get yourself vaccinated. The airlift out of Afghanistan is a success. Don't listen to the media. It would be it's going to be a disaster no matter what. And they're at like 60,000 people out. It's amazing. All right. Bye-bye. Keep fighting the good fight. I'll be here tomorrow.